Welcome back into OneSoccer today. And gentlemen, on Saturday, we got some great news from the Canadian Premier League, and that is they do have an official start date. It'll be June 26th, and they will begin in a bubble in Winnipeg, Manitoba. But here's the thing, guys. June 26th is just a few weeks away, and Ontario teams still have yet to get permission to train. And in particular, Gareth, let's pay attention to Forge. They're back-to-back champions. I mean, they're on a quest for a three-peat here. But what kind of disadvantage are they at if they haven't even been able to train? Are they still considered favorites?
I'm not sure if they're considered favorites because I think some other teams have improved this offseason. But big picture, long term, I don't think this is going to have much of an influence at all, perhaps out the gate. But this isn't like the Island Games where you're playing 7 games, then you're right into a knockout-style tournament. The full plan for the Canadian Premier League is to play a 28-game season, then potentially playoffs. I mean, there's plenty of time for teams to stay in that mix. So I think that this might be more of a case of short-term pain and long-term gain for Forge. And let's be honest, there hasn't been much turnover in this team. Smirniotis and the players know what they're dealing with. It's going to be more about match fitness than familiarity.
Yeah, I think they're still favourites just because I think we've seen Bobby Smirniotis deal with this before. I think we saw it in 2019 where he really kind of mapped out his season and got his team peaking at the right time. You know, that was a brand new team at the time. They weren't always great in the spring season. They started quite slowly, in fact, but they built up and up and up and were the best team in the league by the end of the year. And we've seen it in CONCACAF as well. You know, last year when they went on that CONCACAF league run, they're all over the place. They don't have one permanent base. They're setting up camps here, there, and everywhere. They're having to deal with massive breaks between games and from the end of the CPL season to the start of the CONCACAF League. So I just think he'll be able to deal with it. It will be a challenge. What I think could be more of a challenge for Forge, actually, is going back into CONCACAF League this year. Because we know that the season is going to be a bit more squashed together than it otherwise would have been if we'd started back in April or May. And they're going to have to deal with those road trips and those added fixtures in what is already going to be a congested schedule. So there's a ton of challenges facing Forge, I think, but I just look at the strength of the squad and the experience of the coach, the know-how of the coach. I still think they're the team to beat.
Well, we know the Ontario teams really are the ones who got the shaft to the point where Atletico Ottawa was able to take off for 9 weeks and train in Spain and just recently returned. They're doing their quarantine, but no York being able to train, no Forge, as we just discussed, being able to train. So who do you think benefits from that, Ollie? When you go into that Winnipeg bubble, each team playing 8 games, who do you think that'll end up benefiting?
I think there's a few teams that it could benefit. Ottawa's undoubtedly one of them, being able to have a proper 2-month preseason at top facilities in Spain. That's going to have an effect, you'd think, especially for a team with a kind of brand new team, given they've only played 7 games, but again, one that's had turnover even from their first season last year. Valor, they get home games all through the bubble. That should be an advantage, you would think. But the one I'm going to say, and the one I've really got my eye on, is Cavalry, just because you look at who has been that top contender to Forge, and it has been Cavalry. And again, you look back at 2019 and what they were able to do, having that core of the Calgary Foothills team go into the CPL. They started the season like a house on fire. I can't remember how long it was before they actually lost a game. So I think Cavalry, with the strength of that squad, being able to have a proper preseason while Forge is maybe going to have to get warmed up as the season starts here, I think they could race out in front again and lock up maybe a postseason place fairly early on.
There's one team with a new manager. That's FC Edmonton. That's why every practice, every training session, every week that goes by, that you have an advantage over an opponent is one that needs to be taken advantage of, with some new players coming in, some experienced players as well. They're a really interesting team heading into this season. We'll see if this new manager can do something his predecessor wasn't able to do and get the most out of this group. But certainly with the experience in the team that they have this year, they should be able to take advantage of this a little bit longer run up to the season.
And understandably, we didn't hear anything when it comes to a playoff, because even Commissioner David Klanikin said even after this bubble is done, they need to be able to pivot, whether they stay in the bubble or finally go back to their home markets. That's the key. But when it comes to maybe giving some suggestion, Gareth, on what a playoff format could look like in, once again, a bizarre year, what do you think that would be?
All right, you're going to want to keep as many teams involved in terms of the playoff mix as long as you can. So for me, the top 3 teams in the league, they qualify for the playoffs. Then you have a 1-game playoff between 4th place and 5th place, with the 4th place team having home field advantage. The winner of that game plays a 1-game series against the top seeded team, 2 plays 3. And then I want to go back to seeing the home and away, the 2-legged final. I thought it worked so well in 2019, where it rewards both fan bases and gives them that final to have in their own backyard. So nothing crazy on my end, but that's how I'd like to see them do it.
Yeah, I'd probably still only go to 4 teams. I would like to see it expanded a little bit, but I'd only go to 4. For me, I really want to start rewarding the regular season champion as well. So I'm sending the winner of the regular season, straight to the final. 4th place third, winner of that game plays 2nd, winner of that game goes to the final. And I like a one-off final. I think it's a big event.
Ooh, they want to play games. I don't know if that's an advantage, though. You want to play games. That's why make sure the team that plays the 1st place team, make them play another game in order to get there. 4th or 5th, there's not much difference. You're kind of a half loser being mid-table anyway. So make them work towards that honor of playing the top seeded team, and that's where the top seed gets advantage. They play hopefully a more tired team and still gives that top seed those important playoff games heading to the final.
Just give me entertainment. That's all I want. And I love to be entertained too with new kits when they're released, and that's exactly what the CPL released today, their 2021 kit. So let me begin with you, Ollie. Give me your favorite and give me one that's at the bottom of the table for you.
Okay, I liked a few of them. I always like the West and East Coast teams, Halifax and Pacific. So I've gone with Halifax as my favorite. It's just clean, simple, elegant, gets the job done. I really like that one. I've got to say, this is going to be an unpopular opinion because I see tons of people on social media who really like it. But my least favorite is Valor. I just don't like the kind of two-tone thing here. I think they have such a nice primary color that I'd much rather see that just be, the whole thing rather than the white. I don't know, that one doesn't do it for me.
Okay. Gareth, what about you? Which one did you like the most? Which one did you like the least?
Style icon Oliver Platt. Come to me for the style advice here, Andy. I have joint winners. By the way, Macron does a great job with these kits, period. I really don't dislike any of them. In fact, I love a bunch of them. I love the 2 Alberta sides. The detail in the cavalry kit is amazing with the horse. I love the green little patch on the back as well. Cavalry year in, year out has the best kits. I'm just gonna get that off my chest. But FC Edmonton, great collar. The buttons, I love denim, and they're celebrating the history of jean making in that country, in that city. The FC Edmonton kit, the little rabbit as well, that is a top kit. I love both of those ones. Dead last, and I hate to do this, York United. And I think that the framework is good. I like the white kit, I like the gold around the collar, but what is that green and blue ribbon that says from one community over and over? And it is Latin. In the words from the great movie Rushmore, Latin's a dead language. Why are you putting Latin all over your jersey? So, I don't know. Just the ribbon doesn't do it for me. I looked it up. The blue and green ribbon is like awareness for like intracranial hypertension. I just don't understand it. They had such a good platform to build from, and they just have this thing on it. It looks like a gift that hasn't been unwrapped.
Well, maybe it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And here's the thing, the players, they're going to be donning these new kits no matter what, gentlemen. They don't care what we think. And for the record, I just want to say I love them all. I think they're all fantastic, and I can't wait to see the players wear them on the pitch. So there you go. Any of your anger, you can direct to the fashionistas, Gareth and Ollie.